Today, we're going to discuss the most powerful group behind what you eat. And you might even think that they're like the top brands that you see in the grocery store, but they're not the real big players. There are actually four companies that control 90% of the grain trade. And I'm talking about products made from corn, soy, wheat, sugar, rice. You have to realize that these commodities make up like 68% of the average person's calories, at least in the United States. And this group is composed of four companies. They're kind of silent giants because a lot of people don't even know that they exist. They're the extremely powerful and influential middleman between the farmers, who they heavily control, as well as the other brands that you know about, like Nestle and Kellogg's, etc. And they have huge influence over commodities. Well, commodities are like a stock market for crops. I mean, I have a tiny bit of experience with commodities. I had no business going into the commodity market. There's still skid marks on the turnpike going right into Philadelphia. When my wife was driving with all these kids in the back seat, I thought that was the best time to tell her that, honey, I lost all of our savings in the commodities market. Well, she slammed on the brakes, and there was a little island of land right next to this major freeway that she pulled off of. She gets out of the car, she walks up and down this little piece of land. Let's just say she was extremely upset and she had to let out some steam, and rightfully so. And the whole thing is very confusing. But these four companies have a huge influence on what those prices are set at. And they got themselves into a really good situation because $700 billion a year are spent on subsidies for commodities like corn, wheat, soybean. Now, there was a really interesting study in the American Journal of Agricultural Economics. If we're giving them $700 billion a year, that should allow us to buy this food for a lot cheaper. For every dollar of corn subsidy, the resulting decrease in corn prices only led to a 2 cents reduction. Wait a second, that's not fair. I just gave you $1 and I'm getting 2 cents back. Let's say you want to go buy a donut at the store and these donuts are $1, okay? So you go to the store, and what you might not realize is that you already spent $1.95 for that donut. And you didn't know it because it indirectly came through your paying for your taxes, and you bought the raw materials to make it. And then you spend your dollar. So the total amount of money that you spent for that donut is $2.95. And then, of course, when you eat the donut, you eventually have health problems. So you have to go to the doctor and pay the doctor to fix your blood sugars, your high blood pressure, your high cholesterol, dementia, your heartburn. But thank goodness you have insurance, right? But the point is that these companies got themselves in a really good situation because a lot of the raw materials are paid for by you in advance. So the four companies, A, B, C, D, the first one is called Archer Daniels Midland, and then Bunge, and then Cargill, and then Louis Dreyfus. Those are the four companies that pretty much own the grain trade. They're the companies that supply 68% of your calories. And what's really wild is the junk food brands also own a lot of the organic and natural brands as well as pet food and the vitamin and supplement companies as well. Now, what's even more bizarre is if we kind of just lump together the three main ingredients in 99% of all junk food. We have starches, we have sugars, we have seed oils, right? And we know the sugars are there to sweeten something, and they're highly addictive, and they will keep you craving for more sweets the more you eat them, right? The seed oils originated long ago in the 1800s with cottonseed oil. They were trying to figure out what to do with this waste, and so they decided to use it as a fuel. And then they decided, well, let's just put it in the food supply. And that was the start of repurposing a waste product from something else. And then we have starches, right? What's the purpose of a starch? The purpose of a starch is to add bulk to the product. It's not even sweet, even though a starch is a chain of sugar. I mean, it's one thing to add a filler for a product to kind of bulk up so you can sell it at a cheaper amount, but it's another thing to sell a filler that can create more of a spike on the glycemic index than actual cane sugar by a factor of 185. So if we're comparing certain sugars to starches like cane sugar on the glycemic index, It's 65 for sugar. But then for maltodextrin, for example, that can go all the way up to 185. So think about what that's doing to your health. This so-called benign filler is creating major problems, and it's in so many foods. I started looking through ultra processed foods to see how much of this starch was present. And I got numbers from anywhere between 35 to 60% of the calories were these starches. This video is really about increasing the awareness of who's really controlling the food supply. And so, this entire system of subsidizing certain crops started during the Depression. They should have stopped it right there, but they kept going. And now we have a system that really does not benefit you because you're buying certain ingredients at the expense of your own health, with other companies majorly benefiting from your tax dollars. So it might sound like there's nothing you can do, but there is something you can do. The market follows the demand, okay? That means the market follows what you buy. If you keep buying these products, this system will stay in existence forever. If you stop buying these products, you basically decrease the demand and the market will go in another direction. And so, what I'm really trying to communicate is that you need to go on a low carb, ketogenic diet, not just for your own health, but to influence this system, which I think is extremely corrupted. If you want to know exactly where to start, you can start by watching this video right here. Check it out.